how can we live a truly fulfilling life? That is one of the million-dollar questions, so to say. And there are many different answers to unpack that big question. But one of the answers that came to me is that we need to understand what do we think, like what do we want and we think we need with our mind versus what our heart and our soul not want, but they desperately need us to do so that we can actually embody that which we truly are, which is an incredibly perfect and powerful expression of consciousness. And then how consciousness manifests is different. It depends on each person. It depends on each story. And that is the beauty of it, right? But yet, the fundamental questions are the same. So we need to understand when things are coming from here versus from here. And most often than not, things are coming from here, from our mind, from our prefrontal cortex, with a lot of ego driving the show. While what comes from here kind of goes unnoticed. We push it down like, yeah, it would be nice to do this, but yeah, no. You will fail, people will not understand you, you will not make money, you will be ridiculed by people around you. These are just some examples. And so what ends up happening is we build a life that is made to serve our mind, that is made to serve our egos, that is made to serve our traumas, like doing some things so that then we kind of mask all the problems that we have. Like, yeah, it's good. But wouldn't it be great if you would design, not even design a life, but if your life would come from here, like naturally, expressing powerfully. And that doesn't mean that you will not work, you will not have relationships, and so on and so forth. What changes is the perspective from which you do it. Because at least what I realized from my life is whenever something comes from here and you silence all of these parts, so you live here while this you don't consider it, things will not really go well. Yes, you might achieve some level of success, you might do some nice things, you might meet some nice people, you might travel to nice places, and that is exactly actually what you need in that specific moment in your consciousness evolution journey. So that is not wrong, interestingly enough. But then along the journey, it's really important to ask ourselves, not even ask ourselves, but to listen, to open our hearts, to remember that we are an instrument of consciousness, to remember that we are infinite. We're not living an infinite life here in this 3D planet, but we are infinite. We will go into this in other videos. And so when we do it, things really change, because we're just expressing that which we truly are deep down, and also not just deep down, but also like that which we truly are 360 degrees. And so what we bring when we do that is very different than when we act only from our mind. And again, I don't want to demonize our minds. They are a beautiful instrument, also of consciousness. But what I'm trying to explain here and communicate is the need to have this connection, which of course goes into all of our body. And the second piece, besides understanding what comes from here versus what comes from here, another very important step, the crucial step, is to reconcile this with this and this with this. Because honestly, You already know what you need to do, who you need to be, what you really want to embody in this current manifestation of your consciousness. And yet the mind is like pulling the brakes, like no, don't do it. Why? Because there are some blockers, which they are completely normal. They might be fears, subconscious or conscious fears. They might be trauma manifesting and preventing you from doing that. It could be from this life, it could be from previous lives. And so what it means is we don't need to discard all of these things and just, let's open my heart and things will be good. Yes, they will really be. But simultaneously, we also need to reconcile these things that we think we want or need or be, that come from our mind, from our ego and from our trauma. Because when we do it with compassion, with deep understanding, it's like you try to, let's imagine this. You are meeting one of your inner childs. Look back to a time where you had a particularly difficult time. It might be 5 years old, 10 years old, 7, whatever, you choose. And so it's like, what would you say to that kid that now you know, but he or she, they didn't know? And so in this present moment, when you need to reconcile your mind with your heart and your soul, don't do it from this, no, you are wrong, we need to do this, screw all of this stuff. No, let's meet it with compassion, with understanding. Just as if we were talking with this, let's say, 5-year-old kid. Like, you think you want this, and I understand this. It's beautiful, it's really nice, it would really make you happy. But there is also all of this, which is really nice. And actually, this will make you feel much better than just this. But don't worry, along the journey, you will also get that. In a way that doesn't become the finish point, the finishing line, but it becomes something that comes into your life as you naturally progress with your evolution.